This is the story of a group of 20 out of 100 widows in Sunda village, Patikusul, previously living in the shadow of the brutal extremist group Abu Sayyaf. Under the leadership of Sherina J. Said, these women were once trapped in rebellion, constantly on the move, hiding and sacrificing their children's education. Economic dependence forced many of the widows to remarry active members of the group after losing their husbands. When the reintegration program began, significant challenges emerged. The community didn't immediately welcome them back. There was suspicion from former combatants and a lack of trust toward the government's intentions, creating barriers. Even though these women belonged to the same extended family and clan networks, their return to peaceful life was met with doubt. There were 6 key steps in their reintegration process. The program began with an important first step: public consultation. Elders, religious leaders, and influential women were called to discuss how the widows, once supporters of Abu Sayyaf, could be accepted back. The involvement of women leaders was crucial as they held significant influence over decisions affecting both individuals and groups within the community. The next step is involving respected figures, particularly those trusted by the combatants, were brought into the process. These mediators, often known as friends of all, were tasked with negotiating and persuading the fighters to join the reintegration effort. Through community dialogues, the goals of the reintegration were clearly explained. The widows were promised access to government support, such as economic assistance, protection, and education for their children. Real-life examples from similar programs were provided as proof, ensuring the promises weren't empty. After gaining the community's trust, the next step was dialogue with the military. The outcomes of the public consultations were presented to military leaders who, after reviewing the program's success stories, fully backed their integration. Collaboration with the military was essential, giving their mandate to maintain security and stability. Psychosocial interventions were also implemented to strengthen the women's mental and spiritual well-being. Discussions on values, peace building, and the prevention of violent extremism were held, supported by clerics who provided religious guidance as a foundation for integration. One of the most creative steps in building trust involved team-building activities at the beach. Former combatants and military personnel, once on opposite sides, now wore the same uniforms, played games, and shared meals. As they danced and sang, there were tears of joy. For many ex-combatants, this was the first time they were treated with humanity after years of being seen as enemies. The program successfully transformed their lives. The widows are now economically independent, running businesses in agriculture and fisheries, and ensuring their children receive proper education. The reintegration process has strengthened trust between former combatants and the state. The military and former combatants, once adversaries, now support each other like family. Often, the military provides medical assistance when needed. The story demonstrates how, through dialogue and psychosocial support, these widows have successfully reintegrated into society, overcome challenges, and rebuilt their lives for the better.